amplify regenerative arts and culture, basically.
Exactly.
Give a platform to it. Going in, PR lives. Live to the whole world. Going in live.
1328, we activate regenerative consciousness. 1328, 13 moons and 28 days, yeah. 1328, we activate regenerative consciousness. 1328,
So we have the ability to be the media that we actually want to see, what we actually want to amplify or create in the world.
Bring forth those frequencies. Bring forward great minds and a lot of solutions.
As we really look at, how do we get where we are and where do we want to go from here? Where do we really see ourselves going?
It's a mantra or prayer that is, if you can love enough and trust enough and let go enough, then God will work miracles in you, through you. Then the humorous side of things is to find out that you're not wrong, you're not
Yes, yes, yes. Live to the world. What's happening, family? Greetings, Brother Bilal. Can you hear me there?
Hello, greetings, brother.
All right, all right. I want to make sure our levels are good and everything. As we
Yes,
take this
yes.
little
Different
journey.
things.
Oh, that's even better. I guess you got to keep that
Okay.
as a microphone right there.
I
Whatever
got the
works.
microphone.
This is new media, baby.
Whatever
This is
works, Brother
organic.
Grace.
We're doing this thing live and direct all the time. And we're sending that love and gratitude out in all directions to the planet. So tell the people where you're located, Bilal.
Yeah, I'm out here in ATL right now. Out here in the New Atlantis with all of the great babas and wizards and, musicians, artists, great grandmothers, and it's like it's such a richness of culture and art and vibes out here in Atlanta.
Okay,
So,
vibes.
I'm enjoying that.
Vibes.
I'm truly enjoying it.
All right. Yeah,
And
we're
I have a
out.
lot of family out here as well.
Okay. Bless. Yeah, we're out here in Los Angeles, downtown, overlooking the city.
Mhm.
It's a very special place to be right now. Obviously, there's a lot of love we need all over the earth. So, I'm glad that Creator has us here right now doing what we can. So we're bridging the coasts in a way, like Atlanta, LA. Super excited for today's
Exactly.
show. Yeah, we're gonna bring in
Oh,
some other
that's
energy.
next.
Bring an energy up from Canada. Anchor that energy in here too, creating this sacred geometry. So you know how we do.
For real.
Yeah.
I'm inviting some of the Instagram family in right now as well.
Instagram
So,
fam.
that's what, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we want to definitely encourage people to check us out on IG and all the good things, all the things. You know what I'm saying, invite that in. Super helpful. Follow us on IG. And I want to shout out our producer who's in the house today, Ishelle Esther, blessing us with her presence and her skillful stewardship behind the scenes, on location. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would love for her to introduce herself for a second, if possible. What do you think about that?
I think it's a great idea. Let's bring her in. Let's bring her in.
She's been behind the scenes for a while, supporting
Exactly.
PR, supporting the vision and the vibes. So it'd be great
completely. Yeah, let's bring her in. Let me. I'm looking all over the computer here trying to figure out how to do that exactly. But we're happy to bring her in. All right. And so, yeah, welcome to the show. Ishel Esta representing. Are you going to say something? I know we got you echoing and back and forth. We're just gonna look. We'll just look at you. Okay.
Please, look, love and gratitude, y'all.
All right, there we go. So when we talk about our producer, you know who we're talking about. Ishel Esta blessing us. You know what I'm saying? Helping us make this thing happen. We're so grateful. And she's been a super dynamic help with what's happening with this special Align with Earth event. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Celebrating Earth Day every day, but in particular, Earth Day is April 22nd. So we're excited. We're calling in all kinds of support. I would even go as far as to say from the interdimensional to the deeply rooted in this earth and everything in between to help us amplify and activate this regenerative consciousness. So that's why we're here. And thank you, Ishel, for your service and your love and your presence, bringing that goddess vibe and helping us support this shift in consciousness. Yeah. Right on. All right, B, let me see what's happening here. Let's shift the frame a little bit. Come forward. We got the IG Massive representing. I think you're muted. Unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, So,
I love the microphone effect, though. I like that. It looks like you're singing in one of those big microphones back in the day when you were making all that music, recording in all them great studios. You want to give us a little number? You want to give us a little number? While we at it?
Call my baby on the phone. Got to get a message to let her know that if she ever feels alone, to down my heart.
What?
Down my heart.
I heard somewhere that you and the brothers were working on a remake, like a Now Time version of that amazing song.
Yeah. Last time we were in Senegal, we put together pretty much a full album, a full project, and one of the songs on that project was like a what do you call it, Afrobeat version of Down My Heart. You know, so yeah, I plan to, I got some plans to, what do you call that? Release some things on the low here and there. So I'll stay tuned.
I had to briefly mute myself there. It had some background noise. But absolutely, people, stay tuned. And Bilal, shout out your IG, because I don't think I have a lower third for it, but let people know how they can follow you on IG.
Okay.
What's the best way to reach you there?
It should be Bilal Samadhi. Yes.
Okay. Bilal Samadhi.
Bilal Samadhi. Samadhi.
Samadhi. Bilal Samadhi on IG. So definitely check that out. Follow him to stay tuned with what the Sons of Light, formerly known as the Boys, have going on and have in the works as well creatively. Because y'all are always creating something, man. You and the brothers are always on the build with the creativity. Love that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna prepare to. Yeah, it's a ton, beautiful stuff. So in light of that, I want to bring in the energy when we talk about the work we're doing here to help transform consciousness and the culture, right? So part of that has to do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was wondering, just as far as the time science, where we are energetically. Can you go into that a little bit?
Absolutely. I'm going to set that up real quick right here. So yeah, we definitely have been tracking what's referred to as natural time. It's called noospheric Earth time. It's referred to as turtle time in some regards. The whole purpose of it is to help us shift timelines, help shift our frequency, and get out of the conundrum of the spell and the domination of the Gregorian calendar as our only reference for timekeeping. So in this way, we've been invited by a lot of teachers who've preceded us, a lot of wisdom keepers, and particularly Jose Arguelles, and want to acknowledge him for his work and the work of Lloydine Burris, his wife at the time, and the collaborative, amazing, transformative work that they did by presenting these codes, we'll call it, that were reflective of nature's cycles. And they're to best be understood as an inference or a reference point coming from the future. You have some time sciences that are coming from the past and are keeping the track of time over a series of linear observation, right? Which is a very important observation as well. This in particular, though, is more of a radial consciousness. It's not a linear count. It's a radial consciousness where really all you have is now, and in all directions is now. So in this sense, these codes are coming from the future to help us now get out of the time conundrum we've been in. And so to go into that a little bit, we'll pop this on the screen and read out the signature. I also want to point out today is a very special day, auspicious in the time science, because you have two calendars that synchronize in this case. You have the 364-day calendar, right? 13 moons, 28 days. Then you have the 260-day calendar. And so every July 26th, we initiate a new year in the 13-moon calendar. And that was literally 260 days ago today. So today's energy is the Blue Lunar Storm, Kin 119. Happy galactic return of the year, everybody, because this was the date that kicked off the current year we're in 260 days ago. And so here we are. I polarize in order to catalyze, stabilizing energy. I seal the matrix of self-generation with the lunar tone of challenge. I'm guided by the power of magic. I want to invite everybody to let those words sink in a little bit. It's not so much important to understand what they're saying. It's a matter of feeling them. Because the thing about numbers is they're not only communicating quantity. In fact, that's a small percentage of what numbers do, but in fact, they communicate quality. So when you tune into these words, you can understand that they're actually correlating with certain numbers or sequences or frequencies. And in this case, everything is coordinated according to 13 tones and 20 tribes. And so the tones are what you see represented, for example, here, where you have the two dots above the blue storm glyph. That's a number 2. So the tones are, the galactic notation is a combination of dots and bars. The bars are equivalent to 5. One thing to understand about this is what's called the wave spell. So any cycle of 13 is considered a wave spell. It's a fractal reflection of I would say, the function of the galaxy. Now, that's a big thing to consider. We got to expand our minds a little bit here. But when you look at images, composite images of the galaxy, oftentimes you'll see spiral waves. Well, the objective here is to show the reflection between our evolution and the spiral waves, or these density waves of the galaxy in its function of creation. So we live inside a creative universe with a gazillion creative galaxies, all which create. So any narrative that tells you that your creativity is not important is completely out of sync with reality. And sadly, that's been a lot of the nature of the world, that as it's been this dominating effect for centuries. And part of the purpose of this time science is to liberate our consciousness out of these frameworks that really never served us to begin with. So in light of that, we can see that we're navigating a certain wave spell. We're in a new wave spell. We just completed a couple of days ago the red magnetic serpent wave spell that we've been tracking the past 2 shows. That completed a couple of days ago on the red cosmic earth. And I'm not sure how people have been feeling the frequencies and the energies out here, but we also transited through 10 galactic activation portal days in a row in the last wave spell. And so that's been a dynamic energy that I know I've personally been feeling moving through consciousness and uplifting the energy generally. And people are going to feel a whole combination of things based upon perception, right? So the part of perceiving in this kind of lens is to help us get in sync and tune with nature, shift from harm to harmony. So when you see it here, we have the magnetic mirror wave spell that we're now in day 2 of on this blue lunar storm day, which, as I mentioned, completes a 260-day cycle since the beginning of the year. And then we can also see the visual here where it's depicted in where it shows up in the actual Tzolk'in 260-day count. You see the area highlighted with magenta so that it stands out a little bit. That's the current 13-day cycle. If you look preceding this current cycle, you can see those 10 gap days in that column 6, all in a row. That's the energy we just passed through. 10 gap day portal sequence that's just been expanding and opening things in a tremendous creative way. So yeah, I wanted to deposit that. I want to bring Bilal back on the screen here real quick. We chop it up a little bit about this, and yeah, give thanks. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's powerful stuff. So we have some allies. If people want to learn more about the calendar work, it's something that we do. I'm hoping our guest Ruben can join the call today and give us a little bit more insight. He's a time tracker, a timekeeper who's been observing this work for several years, and he has some very deep insights about how this relates and actually what it's indicating. He is in Bogota, Colombia, so we'll see if he's able to jump in the call today or not. But our audience has known him, and we'll see him again. Obviously, he's one of our allies, one of the team members for PR out here, helping to support this work. And yeah, so B, I don't know if you had any comments.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I want to say about this time frame that I feel noteworthy is, as I was just looking at that full token, just to put the energy out there, Mikuak and our music production company is Mystic Column. Okay, so this column right in between, right in the middle, adjacent to, like you said, the column that we just passed through in the green, I think you said, that was the activation portal days. The one in the middle is the mystic column. It's like the spine to the body.
Exactly. Facts.
So Mikuak and I, why do we call ourselves Mystic Column? We just so happen to fall right there. Our birthdays just so happen to fall right there within the Mystic Column. His coming up on the 15th, and mine coming up on the 17th. So, just wanted to put that out there. Like, we're a production company. We do music that encodes, all of this ancient wisdom and, cultural wisdom into the music as well as Mystic Column. And,
Facts.
this is how
That's
we're
what we
coming
do.
forth.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you pointing that out. That's super important. And what's interesting is when you look at that Zolkin, I'll bring it up in a second again. When you look at the Zolkin, what you're looking at really is you can imagine the brain, and you got the left hemisphere, on one side, the right hemisphere on the other side, and in the very middle is the corpus callosum, or that space in the brain that basically fuses the two sides of the brain together. That's another way to look at this. Also, you can look at it as the reflective sort of 13 articulating joints of the human body, with the mystic column, as you said, the seventh one being the spinal column, or number 7, which is the balance or the mystic mirror between 1 through 6 and 8 through 13. So that's just another way to kind of interpret some of the meaning that exists therein. Yeah, it's a beautiful, cosmology.
2 banging speakers, funky music in your Jeep. No, I'm playing.
You can. Time is art, baby. You can look at it however you choose. That's the beautiful thing. And right now, I just want to stress this for folks, because a lot of people out there being influenced to make certain choices that may or may not be in their best interests. And, in light of that, and in light of all that we do know now about well-being, about consciousness, we want to get into the practice of actually exercising what I've been tuning into, this idea of our creative sovereignty, and that really has landed on me as like a real impetus, a real sort of wind at my back, but just to really meditate, contemplate this idea of creative sovereignty. And this is part of the energy of the show and this broadcast and all the things we do as Mystic Column, as Planet Restoration, is to support and encourage people to access the creator being that they are. We were made in the image and likeness of the creator of all creators for a purpose. And part of that purpose is to be of service at the planet that needs it most now at this time. And that's what we observe and tap into. Sure. In light of that, you mentioned the music, and we're going to bring our guest. Very excited to have our special guest on today. Going to bring him in a moment, but I thought maybe it's apropos if we go ahead and bump one of those tracks like you're talking about. Let me see how we do this here. Bring this in the mix. And with that, we have a jam that we'd like to present today called Ready To. Track number 1 from our EP Serious Codes, The Great Conjunction. Folks can find that if they follow us out there on IG. You can find Mystic Column on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. Please be sure to go to youtube.com/Planet Restoration. You'll find our videos as well, what we're sharing here. You'll find the rebroadcast of the episodes we're doing here. And you'll also find the link for the live event on Earth Day. So with all that said, all that in mind, I want to share with y'all a track we did called Ready To, and then we'll bring our guest in. We'll come back and then we'll intro our guests, and just excited for y'all to be tuning in today with us. Give thanks.
Mystic Column, serious tones, 13. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's all inside of me.
Oh, oops. Little fumble on the play. Too much of a preview. All right, y'all. Welcome back. Thanks for rolling with us in this new era of new technology and 1,000 buttons to select from in real time with very small screens. All right. Appreciate that. It's like you got to be the media you want to see in the world. Let me bring Bilal up. There we go. And you got to remember all the low the volume and raise the volume. Bilal, can you hear me now? You got to unmute. We're doing the IG live thing at the same time.
Yep, I hear you.
All right, perfect. And I want to make just a request to IG or Facebook, who owns them, that they may as well go ahead and just make it easy for people to actually multi-stream. You know, I know they're trying to keep everything closed, but you know, it would just make our job a lot easier. But anyway, it's just something maybe somebody who has any links there can offer the suggestion. I know I cannot be the only one asking for that. But nevertheless, anything to say? We want to get into bringing our guest on. I want to definitely,
Yeah, that's what capitalism is about.
what? Bananas.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, let me cue
So
up our,
I noticed this guest. I've heard you speak about him
yeah,
for some time yet now, for some
yes,
years,
absolutely.
and you've always spoken highly of him. And you know, I hadn't had a chance to meet him in person yet, so this is a great meeting. I
Mm,
appreciate it.
for sure. Yeah, to set the stage up a little bit. We're super excited about the guest we have. He sent me a little bio here. You know how bios go. It's like a lot of words, and I'm like, and I know the brother heart to heart. So I want to just kind of share with the fact that we met each other due to auspicious circumstances. We both worked with a group called Nexus, global community of philanthropists, next generation inheritors who are inspired and informed and have the capacity on many levels to help shift this planet in the direction it needs to go. So we've been doing our part to help support the community, making that reality happen. And in light of that, he's a media wizard. The brother creates the most elegant and beautiful websites. And I love his ethos because he keeps it focused on organizations that are solely change-making organizations. He doesn't really align his energy with anybody who's not really on that level. And I appreciate love him about that. He's in it for the realist reasons. So you'll learn more about that in a moment. But one of the things that really stood out when we met was his affinity for permaculture, his affinity for returning to nature. He'd gone through his own adolescence, had real life experiences like all of us. You know what I'm saying? We learn, we grow, and his heart led him in a direction of really getting rooted, really getting connected with Mother Earth. And how that's manifested, I'm excited for him to share with us about that today. So let's welcome our guest, Gabriel Miguel, into the conversation. Welcome, Brother Gabriel. Thanks for being here.
Mikuak, my man, thank you for that introduction. It's real good to be here.
Right on. Happy to have you. So let me just ask, man, tell us where you are, where you calling in from right now.
Sure. I am in a town called Saint Adele in Quebec, Canada.
Okay.
My wife was living in Montreal when we were both living together in DC.
Yeah.
And I met her, and we've been married a couple of years now, and life is good. So I'm up in Canada, probably going to be coming back down to the good old US of A, looking for some sunnier and more springtime kind of climates. It's a bit cold up in the mountains of Quebec, and I'm Puerto Rican. So we'll see how that goes.
Right. That's facts. So yeah, so wow, there's so many directions we could go in this conversation. I mean, one of the themes we're focused on though is activating regenerative consciousness. And I know that's something you and I have been actively participating in without giving it a name necessarily.
Right.
But for the sake of actually guiding people in this process, that everybody in one way or another is going through a transformation. I mean, what to speak of, everybody kind of being made to go sit down somewhere with COVID and gets a chance to reflect maybe more deeply on what's important, what's most important in our lives, tap into some latent creativity maybe they hadn't been tapping into, or write that book they'd been delaying doing, make that album, plant that garden, because food security is a real big issue. And in light of kind of being more ecologically conscious, we want to obviously encourage people to do what they can locally, right? Do what you can. Let's cut down on carbon emissions and trucking food from one far off location to another, things like that, when you could actually grow your own. So I know that's something since I've met you, you've been passionate about, and I want to invite you to speak about your passion for that. And then we'll talk about a little bit about the movement you're involved in supporting.
Sure. So where to begin? So with things being local and growing your own food. So to tie back into the themes that you were mentioning earlier towards the beginning of this, about all of us being made in the image of the creator of all creators, right? And if we think about it, the creator has manifested himself, itself, however you choose to call it, in every aspect of nature. And every time we go out and we interact with nature in a conscious way, we are interacting directly with the creator. And as we go and we improve the environment around us and we bring life to the things around us, we improve ourselves in this way. And it's this infinite virtuous cycle of perfecting the land, perfecting ourselves, and it goes upwards out into infinity. And so I believe all of us should be connected to our Creator through the creation that He made for us. And back in the practical ways, I think that absolutely, I guess we'll dive into it a bit in a minute, but securing your own food and growing your own food, having a connection with that food that you're growing, a spiritual connection. You're spiritually connected to these plants, ideally if you can, right? If you have land, right? And having that connection with the apples and the flowers and everything else that you're growing, ensuring that it's completely clean, and feeding yourself in a spiritually vital way, but I hope that addresses what you're saying. I hope I'm not going too far off here.
No, it's all right there. I mean, I think it's special. I really appreciate what you said about that connection with the Creator, as
Absolutely.
that nature is the manifestation or the manifest form of the Creator, as far as our experience indicates, right? So
Exactly.
there's no better way than to make that direct connection. I wanted to actually maybe bring a screen in on your work, because I think your work is one of the most exciting things happening. And
I have some stuff set up I would love to share as well, to kind of share the ideas and some images too, if that's possible.
Yeah, let me see. Perhaps, well, you can share your, I don't know if you can share your screen. So maybe if you, maybe if you send me.
I mean, if you want to, it has a share screen button here. But if you want to dive into what you have prepared, I'm totally cool with that.
Okay, and Bilal has a comment.
Cool.
Yeah, one thing I was just going to mention is I was talking to my mom earlier, and we were talking about popcorn and just certain things, and we were talking about how I was like, if you find organic popcorn, you know what I'm saying, then it could be a healthy snack, you know what I'm saying, if you add some things. So it just brings to mind the thought of organic foods and the levels of manipulation that can happen through food. So I just wanted to mention that, because since me and my mom were talking about that earlier.
Yeah,
it's huge. I mean, food that's vital and especially grown with the attention and care of a human, especially in healthy living soils, is nourishing to the spirit, and in our supermarkets, even the best organic food loses that freshness and some of that spiritual vitality that you could get if you picked it off the tree right there. I mean, that's the ideal. That's not the reality even for myself at the moment, but that's, it's the ideal, and it has a connection to our spiritual wellness in that way.
Exactly. Now, what's interesting is that, as you said, it's not your reality right now. What I feel we're in right now is this opportunity of actually co-creating that which we know is the vibration, as we're kind of helping neutralize those things that have caused limitation or maybe separation. Right. All that stuff is being withered away. Like, it's amazing what's moving through the creation right now. So I wanted to point to that. And in light of this, like, part of this effort here with the Earth Day even is that we want to actually amplify regenerative arts and culture, and do so by inviting everybody to join together to share their vision of a regenerative future. Because like a vision board, this is how we can quicken the manifestation of things. Maybe we'll find people out here who want to contribute their land or expand their awareness about how to work with their land in a more harmonious way, things like that. I know that's some of the stuff you can help people come to realize. And without further ado, I want to actually show people your website, because I'm real excited about what you've been creating here.
Did I send you the link for the new homepage?
You know what? I'm not sure. I'll tell you what I got. I have AnastasiaUSA.land. That's what I was about to bring up.
Pull this one up if you can see that in the chat.
Let me see here. Yeah.
I'm redesigning it. I'm about to launch it very soon.
Okay. All right. Let's share the most up-to-date creative inspiration. Let me do that.
Yes,
give me one quick second. I'll do a little thing background here.
Appreciate the flexibility.
Yeah, of course, man. We're doing this live and organic. Don't panic. It's all organic.
Live, organic. Don't panic.
Don't panic. No need to panic when your flow is organic. So, and it's like this organic media too. We get a chance to maybe we'll come back to that. I mean, so you're not sharing the former website at all, and
I mean, you can absolutely, you can.
Okay,
Yeah, no
all
problem.
right. So we'll bring them.
I mean,
We'll bring
it's
them
just the new
both.
one looks.
I feel that. Okay, cool. I'm going to see.
Yeah.
I think I've hit a limit here on how many things I can have in the piece. So let me cancel this one. We'll come back to that.
And I can share my screen too. It looks like it gives me the option. So.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah. Well, I tell you what. You want to give that a shot right now?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
give it a shot. Go ahead and share your screen, and that way.
Share screen.
Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to talk while the screen is shared. So hopefully, this is a good exercise in figuring it out. Go for it. Share your screen and see what happens.
Can you guys see?
We see
you guys see yourselves?
Multiplicity of ourselves.
All right.
Oh, there we go. And I still hear you too, bro. Great.
Okay, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right. So first, I want to show you. I just built this resource page, and I'm showing love to you guys and your work. Very interesting thing about the movement that I'm involved with. It stems from a series of books called The Ringing Cedars of Russia. In that series, there's the main kind of, you would say, heroine. She's a real woman living in Siberia, incredibly advanced soul. And one of the things that she was talking about the future of Russia. And she was saying, as the year 2000, according to the accepted Earth calendar of the time, was drawing to a close, the Russian leadership was still in process of determining the country's path. But she's made a whole bunch of predictions of things that would happen in the future, and they've all come true so far. And she's giving an indication here that we will shift our calendar to something I think that would make a lot more sense. And I think it's the 13-month, 28-day calendar. So I just want to throw that out there. You know, you guys are going to make a huge change in the world. It's beautiful.
Together we are. Together. Absolutely.
That's right. And so here is the website. Mikuak, did you have anything you wanted to say, or maybe I could just give an intro?
No, please go for it. Thank you, bro.
All right, cool. So, well, I was mentioning the Ringing Cedars of Russia series. It's a series of books published in Russia in the 90s, sold over 30 million copies worldwide, published in 20 plus languages. It talks all about our connection to God, you know, however you would like to call that, through nature. And the central idea is something called a kin's domain. So if you're looking here on my screen, you see these, you see this aerial footage of these plots of land with some houses. It's 2.5 acres. These are real places in Russia. This here, so I can maybe pull this up, give you a more graphic representation of what they look like. These are just some illustrations people put together, but 2.5 acres where a family comes together and they say, this is where I'm going to kind of settle my family line on this 2.5 acres of land. They fence it out with a living fence of trees and, you know, berry bushes and stuff. They plant a forest, and the design can vary. They build a house, they dig a pond, and the goal is kind of to, you know, raise a family there and hand that land down generationally, and then do this in community. So each family has something that looks like this. And this movement in Russia, currently there's more than 370 settlements where each family has 2.5 acres of land, and the largest settlements have more than 300 families. 350 families. They've been there for like 20 years. It's a giant movement. Here's another design. This is much more the traditional permaculture design, but look at this, like 2.5 acres of land, this diversity of trees here. You know, this is what people are building there. And here's a real example. This is an actual settlement there. They did a very good website here, showcasing their work. This is kind of a really high level, and this is these are people's houses here. You can kind of do a little map around. You can look around the settlement here, and if you go down here, you can see how they've mapped it out. They have a common school area here. These little icons, they have guest houses, and they have a whole bunch of different plots of land. And this is kind of a general idea of what it looks like. So if you look on this map up here, you can see people are like planting their trees and stuff already. Wow. So it's pretty amazing. It's a giant movement. And yeah, so I've been working, you know, for a long time to, I'm going to stop sharing now. Kind of showed what I needed to show.
Nice.
The books were published in English in 2006. I got involved in 2014 to try to organize the thousands and thousands of people that have read it in English and are trying to create these settlements and these kins domains for themselves. So that's been my mission. We've been very successful. We have a very large online community of readers of these books, and we've connected a lot of people, and people are, you know, going to the land, and we're building a huge community, and I believe it's the future of the world, you know. So that's a brief introduction of what we're doing.
It's powerful. Let me ask you a question. Now you've met Vladimir Megre. Oh, Bilal, do you have a comment?
I've met him in person.
Yeah. No comment. I was going to say, you've met Vladimir Megre. You've done some work directly with him. You're in communication. And the movement behind the book. Share with people again the name of the books, the full title, so they can look it up. And
so, yeah, I will share my screen one more time. The Ringing Cedars of Russia series by Vladimir Megre.
Okay.
Whatever price they're used right now, they're out of print in English. Just buy it. Do it. Don't hesitate.
Yeah.
It's worth its weight in gold.
And tell us a little bit more about the heroine. You mentioned Anastasia, obviously.
Yeah.
The heroine.
So
a little bit about her.
Yeah, absolutely. Anastasia, she is a descendant of a culture called the Vedrus culture, which is lived in parallel to our society, but separate from our society for many thousands of years. So she has family land in Siberia, and her family's been there many centuries, out in the deep taiga Siberian forest. She is, it's really hard to say. I don't, you know, she really tries to keep her humanity as a thing and try not to say she's different than people, but she has a lot of incredible abilities and incredible consciousness and kind of speed of thinking and perception of God and the universe. And basically the premise of the books is that this entrepreneur at the time, Vladimir Megre, went on a trip to Siberia, and he met this woman, Anastasia, living deep in the forest. And he went and had experiences with her, and she told him about the creation. She told him about raising children. She told him about man's relationship with nature and how God manifests in nature, and pretty much any topic you can think of, childhood education, giving birth to children, the cosmos, the universe, just everything. And he went back and he wrote it and published these books, and he became a bestseller with no advertising at all, and spawned a giant movement in Russia with no government backing at the time. Actually, they're giving out land in Russia now for this. It's
wow.
They've put it into legislation. Like in certain parts of Russia, they're giving out land. Local governments are giving out land in different regions of Russia for this. Free, untaxable, with rights to inheritance and passing down to future generations. So it's real. Something powerful is happening. And there's politics and things, propaganda. Everybody feels a kind of way, but what these Russian people are doing is incredibly beautiful. And don't let the word Russia turn you off.
Yeah. Facts. Bilal, you got something to say? I see you over there.
Yeah. Do you know of ones and ones like in America that have adopted this King's Domain type of
absolutely
platform? Is it starting to catch on, or is it
yes.
small, or wondering?
I can tell you, yeah. So I hesitate to say, but I guess it's true. I'm kind of at the center of everything that's happening. I run a few different online communities. We have a very active Facebook group, a forum. I've just been in touch with people directly over the years. And yes, there are many people who are building their Kins domains individually across the country. There's also been some efforts to organize larger settlements. There hasn't really been success there yet, for different reasons. But currently, at this state in time, I feel more hopeful than ever for these settlements being established in a proper way and their longevity continuing. We have a really, really active group of people that I'm working with, and things are more active now than they've been in like the last 10 years for this stuff. So it's very bright. And even if I can share my screen one more time, I will pull up something to give you guys a little bit of an idea. And let me know if I'm going on too much here. Please
No,
feel
man,
free
you're
to
great. You're great, brother. Appreciate it.
Cool. Yeah. So if I go in here and go to, I actually have a directory on our website of different, these are people who have land to share, to offer to others. So people with more acreage who are inviting more people to come and live with them. And it's a new version of like this platform, but people can submit their land and invite other people to join them.
Wow.
And this, yeah, and we're going to be, I just finished rebuilding this in a really good way. So we're going to be inviting a lot more people to submit their land here. Even in Russia, they don't have a system quite like this where you can kind of log in and manage it yourself. So there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of like wealthy land owners I've met who are very willing to give land to people. So the future is really bright for this stuff here.
Wow. It's amazing.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. Just want to say I appreciate the work. I love that. We need more and more of just that energy. So good thanks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It makes me think of, one of my elders, Haile Mikuak, who was a Hawaiian kahuna. He transitioned, interestingly, his ceremony for his funeral was April 4th.
Was it
April
this
4th
April
in the year
4th?
2004. Let me
Okay.
clarify, April 4th, 2004.
Yeah.
So it was like 17 years ago. But his presence and his effect on my life and many others in my community all over the world have been activated by a lot of his information and presence. One thing he's quoted as saying that's coming up for me in this conversation is the key to sovereignty is sharing. Once you start sharing, you're sovereign. And so it makes me wonder, because it seems like what you're presenting is this idea of actually sharing land, sharing space. The idea of owning land is a tragic misnomer. You know what I mean? It's such an interesting and tragic misnomer because it creates a sense of domination, or it objectifies the land as though it's something that can be owned. When in fact, I think the word own really is better said as onus, which also implies responsibility. So like how I have an onus, not an ownership, but an onus to the land as a steward, I think actually qualifies it quite differently, as we're shifting out of this sort of domination mentality of control and force over and moving in more of a synergy and synthesis with and a sharing that's a natural outcome of truly being sovereign, or creative sovereignty, as we've been talking about. So that just comes up for me, and I'm excited to see these places popping up in North America where people are actually interested in sharing their land and helping embolden a sense of sovereignty and collaborative sovereignty, creative sovereignty amongst each other. I think that's a beautiful thing to see happening. And so we're absolutely behind this 100%.
There's a mutual friend of ours, and I won't mention her name, just out of privacy. But a mutual friend of ours from Nexus who has offered 300 acres of her land in Colorado and hundreds of acres of her land across North America and internationally, and that's just one person. Opening it up for this type of development. I mean, I've presented this idea to people and they believe in the vision, and we're really, really poised for that. So, and I agree. I mean, we're children of the earth. We're children of the universe, and the earth drew no lines on itself and said, you have this and you have that. And it's basically, we've been given that responsibility. And one of the core ideas in the 10th book of the Ringing Cedars series, Anastasia said that she could define that there was 4 words that defined humanity's kind of purpose and life kind of mission in the universe. And so Vladimir's asking her, like, well, what are those 4 words? And she says, perfect the dwelling land is what she says. And she says, perfect the dwelling land. Take the land around you, make it more and more and more perfect. And she says, through perfecting that land, you perfect yourself. And you learn and you make everything around you beautiful, and kind of this responsibility, like stewardship, and the people building these kins domains, they're doing it for, having children. So they're taking the utmost like responsibility. Everything is super clean. It's super beautiful. Every tree is like planted with love and the thought of their future family, and love for their land and love for their neighbors. And truly it's this really uniting thing. And they care for their land tremendously. And the thing is that if you want to talk about practical solutions to everyday problems, on average, one of those living fences that I showed around the perimeter of the land, it's at least 400 trees. So imagine every family, 200 families on a settlement, each 400 trees just for the perimeter. And it's like, you know what I mean? You're starting to see regeneration at scale, and you're not even having to pay these people to do it. They're just going out and doing it with whatever they have. And it's happening like massively. So there's a lot of,
quotable
like that.
Regeneration at scale.
Yeah, regeneration at scale without being told to do it. They read the books and they go. With whatever resource they have, no government expenditure. So like, if you want to talk to practical things, this is it. If you give people land and you tell them like, hey, go do it, they'll go.
Absolutely. Give me some land. I'll go do it. Let's go.
I mean, I know, right?
Maybe have to hit up our mutual friend.
We're gonna have to hit it. I mean, we should have that conversation, because
let's do that. Real. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Amazing.
Yep.
Bilal, look like you got some comments.
Something that made me think about was how Audrey, how she talks about how, as far as what we can do when it comes to Earth Day, to heal the Earth, it's like the title of Earth Day Align makes sense, because, like you're saying, the Earth is beautiful in itself. It's for us to align with the Earth, and in aligning with the Earth, we're able to speak. The Earth can speak through us. Like, we can channel the power of the Earth. Like I was talking about the last episode about the Power Rangers. It's like the totem that is the Earth can speak through us as we align with the Earth. So I just wanted to bring that up, because that speaks to the Earth Day Align event that we have coming up on Earth Day. Excuse me, April 22nd.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to bring that up, because as you were speaking, it made me think of that.
Absolutely. Love it.
For sure.
Let's see what's going on here in the background. Yeah, speaking of that Earth Day event, we look forward to having you participate with that as we continue to amplify what you're doing and all of this amazing energy you're in the process of convening. I think it's just incredible. And so congratulations on that, and just being on such purposed mission. And, certainly. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. And, we couldn't get away from this episode without taking a moment to talk about our adoration and appreciation for Yogananda. Hey, now.
Absolutely. And here he is in the back, too. If you see on my...
okay.
He is on the back over there.
He got him right there, too. So, hey, there's alignment. Yes, right. Brothers and sisters out there who know the deal.
Actually, really quickly, right before this call, check this out. So Yogananda's disciple, Swami Kriyananda, founder of Ananda Village and Ananda Sangha in Nevada City, California, one of their longtime disciples, I mean, he was with Swami Kriyananda like in the late 60s, just wrote me an email like at 4:00. And we want to do a Ringing Cedars event sometime this year, on land. And they just told me that they were speaking with the Ananda Meditation Retreat in Nevada City about the Ringing Cedars community movement of Kins domains. And the leader of their retreat center wants to speak with me about it. and they want to like offer us land to do an event there for Ringing Cedars stuff at Ananda Village.
Absolutely.
Yogananda was a huge promoter of, buying land and living in spiritual community. And we're getting support even from, I'm a disciple of his, and we're even getting support from them. I feel like he's behind the movement as well. So
Yeah.
4:00 today.
That's amazing. Hey, bro, it's Blue Lunar Storm. Hey, galactic return. It's an auspicious day. Yeah, we got the meditations at hand.
It's beautiful.
Why don't you go ahead and read us one, Bilal? Read us like an excerpt, something.
Oh, is that the Holy Science Tree, Teshwar?
Yeah.
Oh, that book is incredible. Here we go. We got Baba G right there.
We got Baba G represent.
Oh my God. It's I gotta. Yeah, I got.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wish we had more than an hour. You know how we do. We got to powerful things in small containers, but certainly we can have a whole episode on the enormous impact of these masters in our lives and on the path, because it's all one path. It's all one life, really. We're all as I said, we're walking each other home. So, what you got there, Bilal?
I'll give you a small excerpt.
A little excerpt. Right? Give thanks.
Now, this is tied, of course, it's tied to a bigger body of work. So, Surah 2. In it, Param Brahma is the origin of all knowledge and love, the root of all power and joy. You know what I'm saying? So,
repeat that one more time. That's worth repeating, please.
Param Brahma.
In it, Param Brahma, right? The highest
Supreme Spirit.
Supreme Spirit, thank you. In it is the origin of all knowledge and love, the root of all power and joy. So it's interesting how he lays that out. It has the feeling of, the wisdom and the power, or the grace and the power, the glory. You know what I'm saying? How they, that same type of.
Absolutely.
Wow. Just seems very auspicious.
Line up.
Yes. I want to take a moment to acknowledge our Muslim brothers and sisters around the world today, ones of peace, observing Ramadan, and just say thank you so much, because the devotion, the faith, the energy that any devotee of any path holds for any amount of time has incredible impact on the whole. And so I just want to acknowledge all of our peaceful ones around the world today, acknowledging, the sacred duty of a Muslim to perform fasting during Ramadan. And thank you for the fact that it benefits us all. It's the idea when one of us are healed, all of us are healed. So when all of us benefit from anybody holding that devotional meditation. So we give thanks for that too, in light of all that's happening, because it's happening to all of us. So thank you. That's amazing. And, I'm just so excited for your work, brother. I'm just excited to see everything you've been putting in energy into. Let people know also about your media company briefly, just where they can find information about that. This guy, as I said, is a dynamic website designer, media creator.
Yeah. So I build websites for conscious organizations, nonprofits, anyone who's doing good in the world. And thank you for mentioning that earlier, man, because it is an intentional thing. I won't put my name behind anything that's bringing destruction. It's called Pristine Media. You can find me at pristine.media. And if you want to talk, you can book a call there. I'm happy to help if you need a website.
Perfect. We love that. I tell you what, keeping the vibes high, I'm going to actually flash to a screen real quick, see if I can adjust things over here one more time. But you mentioned, Bilal mentioned what's coming up with our Earth Day event. So we want to invite folks to get involved. We have support from Unify, which is an incredible collaborator for almost a decade at this point. And just they're so involved in helping create the container for this transformation of consciousness. You can also see we're collaborating with earthday.org, or the Earth Day Network, where their theme this year is Restore Our Earth. And so we're naturally behind that sentiment. And we felt compelled to have our event together in the same day when so much energy can sometimes be put toward environmental activation or activism, we'll say, but that it's the idea of fighting a thing. And we respect that. And we also recognize in the physics of all reality, when we put an energy of fighting or resisting a thing, it only actually enormously strengthens that thing that we're attempting to shift. So we're inviting people, as Bilal said earlier, to align with Earth. As Mama Audrey taught us, Mother Earth is going to be fine. She'll be here. It's really a matter of where are human beings at this point in our evolution as a species? Are we going to be here? And that's a matter of perception. That's a matter of choice. That's a matter of that creative sovereignty again, and the sovereign creative option to collaborate creatively with others, regardless of their nationality. Like you said, you have allies in Russia, even though the nation states say we're supposed to have an issue with anybody so-called Russian. Like, what is that? I don't personally, it's all fabricated. I don't subscribe to that business. And I really encourage anybody out here who's a thinking human to consider that we are on one body of water. We are all molecules in that one body of water. And if we actually emphasize love and gratitude, like the teachings of Dr. Masaru Emoto, we're going to see this ship of Earth transform in a tremendous way. And it's our love and gratitude vibration that we want to activate and energize any of this with. So in light of that, I just wanted to make that plain for folks. And again, they can find more information out about our Earth Day event on the website, on our IG. We're doing active promotion there, obviously online. We're going to be broadcasting to the world simultaneously with the Earth Day Live event. And the Earth Day Live event reached 8.5 million folks last year. For example, this year they have the Pope on. They have very large name luminaries. Their event starts 2 hours before ours does. And during our second hour of our event, we're going to actually bring in aspects of their event and help stream that out there to spread the word. What's interesting is the tracking we're doing is in the shift in consciousness around the calendar and around actually amplifying the situations among indigenous communities around the world. To that point, I want to just mention that when we talk about Anastasia and that background of work and Siberia, everybody's indigenous to somewhere. And the fact is in being indigenous and having a consciousness of indigeneity, we're all connected to Earth at some point and part, and we all have that direct in our DNA. It's in our genetics, and that is really what's coming online more and more right now. So this work you're doing is super important in helping reconnect and helping people remember and realign. And so we hope that our intention is the same for this Earth Day celebration, just that people align with Earth. And to us, the word align stands for awareness and love inspires growth naturally. So when we bring ourselves into alignment, then we're already a part of the solution. When we take our shoes off, like you taught me long ago about the science of earthing, we had our brother Manifest reiterate that benefit on the last episode. Just taking our shoes off and making that connection. It's not like you have to do anything, just be with Earth and therefore be with the Creator, as we said, right? In such a direct way. So we really appreciate that. We encourage folks out there to check out our YouTube channel, Instagram for Planet Restoration. They can find out more about the Earth Day event. And we invite people to even send us contributions if they have an insight, a statement, a prayer, a song. Send it to us, and we're weaving together this amazing vision board of everybody's shared visions of our regenerative future. So we're amplifying and bringing that into reality as soon as we can.
That is beautiful. There's one thing, I'm not sure how much time I have left, but I did want to share a couple images and a quote.
Please do. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let me. Do you want to share them on a share screen? Let me put you back on. Let's do that. Let's put you back in the proper view here.
I just want to give folks a bit more of like some of the visual of what's happening in Russia, so you get a better idea of what this is, right? Because it could be a bit of an abstraction. And share a quote from the author Vladimir Magritte, kind of, and talking about the actual, what is the goal, what is the mission here, a bit about the core ethos of it all.
Yes.
So let me pop into my thing here. Can I share? Share, and I'm going to put up this video slideshow.
Beautiful.
Cool. So you guys can see this while I read this little quote. It's just a quick paragraph. Okay. But you can see these are images of Kin's domains in Russia. And this is what people have built. These are images from different settlements. Like I said, over 370 of them. the largest ones with 300 plus families, each 2.5 acres, their own plot. So just imagine. And that's just in Russia. Like internationally, it's spread like crazy. So here's a quote from him. He said, "Let each one of us take a small plot of his land." I want to slow this down just a little bit. I sped it up. "Let each one of us take a small plot of his land, 1 hectare, pull his whole mind and whole spirituality together and create a very small but concrete paradise. He will transform his little piece of land on our large planet into a flourishing garden, giving material embodiment to his spirituality, following God's example. If millions of people do this in a whole lot of countries, then the whole earth will become a flourishing garden." And that's the quote. And this idea, we can take our love and we can take our spirituality and our consciousness and we can give it a material embodiment through the creation around us. Here's a map. Look at, these are some of the settlements. This video is a bit old. But, you know, we can take the love that we feel for our partners and our children and everything and create something beautiful around us and manifest that love as a tangible thing. And create harmony around us in the physical world and perfect this world and create a new society. You know, you have 300 plus families living together like that. You've created a whole new culture. There's no crime. There's no crime. There's no environmental problems. There's no, you know, homeschooling. The kids are super educated. There's none of the crazy societal problems that we face. I've been there in Russia. I've seen it. And Bro, it's real.
Can you do me a favor? Can you actually read that again? Show us the images again, because I don't think I actually had you on the screen with that.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. No problem.
Thank you. Want to make sure people actually see it. It's amazing.
Sure. So I'm going to share. Come back here. Go back. All right. Give me a second to pull the quote up. I'm just going to go through this slideshow here. All right. So, let each one of us take a small plot of his land, 1 hectare, pull his whole mind and whole spirituality together and create a very small but concrete paradise. He will transform his little piece of land on our large planet into a flourishing garden, giving material embodiment to his spirituality, following God's example. If millions of people do this in a whole lot of countries, and the whole earth will become a flourishing garden. And this is what these beautiful people here are creating. You know, look at how beautiful and harmonious this is, and there's, you know, inklings of that popping up in America. And we're really trying to build it. We have a lot of support, and you know, the movement is growing a lot. And you know, you should see some of the places that people have already built here. It really is amazing.
Wow, that's excellent. I want to invite anybody who wants to learn more to visit Gabriel's website, AnastasiaUSA.land. And again, as he mentioned, if you have any multimedia needs, website design needs for a project, an organization, your individual passion that's in alignment with what's going on, then we invite you to certainly reach him at pristine.media and check him out there. Bilal, I want to invite, if you have any remarks, any things to share.
Yeah. I mean, I guess one of the last things, you know, is just, I feel like this is a new form, or I would use the term high tech, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is another wave of high tech, like bringing forth this evolution of man's relationship with nature, you know, and bringing it to a science as you're doing, you know, or as has been done as you're bringing forward. So it's just interesting to see, like, this is a next movement. This is cutting edge, you know. It's interesting.
Truly.
So I just wanted to mention that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Amazing. Wow.
Bilal, it's really good to get to connect with you, man. I really look forward to more.
Likewise, man. Soon, inshallah. Yep. And hey, it's I'm glad that it's been initiated and it's happening now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There is one thing I want to acknowledge today. It's a lot going on, obviously, and we want one of the things we focus on in our broadcast is venerating our elders. And a lot of powerful wisdom keepers are transitioning from the planet. Very important pillars in the transformation community, particularly as it relates to indigeneity, as it relates to the conscious shift to return to Earth, to honor and steward the land in the right way, in a good way. And I want to acknowledge Mama LaDonna Allard, who was super significant and opened her home in Standing Rock to the activists that came from all over the world to respond to the call, dealing with the DAPL pipeline and resisting that pipeline coming in there. And I want to just bring her up on the screen quickly, just to pay homage and acknowledge her spirit, who is, again, she passed away in the past couple of days. So it's very fresh to a lot of people out here in the Standing Rock and the water protectors community. It's obviously hitting hard for a lot of people. So I just want to go, as I said, just take the time to acknowledge her presence. Let me bring her up real quick. Thank you all for your patience in this too, but it's important that we do this. So we're going to do that real quick. Stay on with me, and
Absolutely.
we'll bring you forward. We just want to acknowledge Mama Allard. Just was able to grab this image of her prior to the show. I thought it was a really regal image of her in terms of her stance, her presence, her power, and knowing that she is ever much now on the other side of the veil, able to contribute and continue to compel this movement toward balance and restoration across the planet. And, we stand in solidarity with our indigenous communities all over the world. And so I just want to say ashe to her for her life and contribution, and just certainly, give thanks for her presence. LaDonna Brave Bull Allard, who certainly did change history. And big up to all the water protectors in Standing Rock and the communities that support that community, our community out in Mauna Kea, communities down in Aotearoa, communities all over the world, throughout the continent of Africa, and then some. So we just give thanks. It's one planet, it's one body of water. We're all connected to it. So we want to definitely keep that conscious as we continue this work together. So I want to just take a moment and say thank you. So yeah.
How much care she had in her eyes.
And
amazing.
yeah, bright light.
Super bright.
And of course, I would be remiss as a hip hopper to not mention like who I would call the preacher, you know what I'm saying, of hip hop. The
Absolutely.
one who brought the spirit of Most High to hip hop stages. Like
Absolutely. None other. Facts.
Our brother DMX.
Absolutely.
So enough love and prayers and blessings to the families of all of our great spirits that have passed away this past spell.
Facts. We got to go ahead and big him up too. Let me pull him in, man.
God bless him. He had a tough time. But
He did, and the fact is, it was like, yeah, we're just going to pull up whatever we got, but we're going to bring him in. I'm going to bring up something that actually is honorable of him and who he truly is. Manifest angel.
Like that Africa concert where he had like 1 million people.
Oh man. I mean, it's on levels, right? It's on levels. But yeah, I'm hard pressed to
People
find
forget how big he was in the 90s, man.
Yeah, no, it was a fact. I saw some of it where Russell Simmons was saying that he basically single-handedly saved their record label, Def Jam. You know what I'm saying?
I believe it.
No question, Rough Riders and DMX. I tell you what, let me see if I can get this in here. I'm going to pull this in real quick. Stay with us, Gabe.
I'm here.
Yes, I.
Live in effect.
Live
That's
in
the dog star right there.
It is.
Dog
It is.
star.
Oh, snap. You got me. This is ridiculous. Trying to just show homage, and I got like 1,000 things, commercials popping up, right? In the background. Like, geez.
You're good.
Come on, folks.
Well,
Yes.
that's commerce for you.
That's commerce. That is commerce.
So I feel like that's a part of what's cutting edge right now is the shift from time is money to time is art.
Facts. Facts.
So Yeah, it's a beautiful vision.
I tell you what, I'm unable to pull up the image right now. I think it's okay though. Everybody knows who he is, Brother DMX.
Hmm.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I love how you put it though. He was like a prophet in a way. And the thing of those who know about the prophets in life, they, oftentimes they go through life so that they're relatable to other people suffering, other people going through real life in that sense, under that duress. So we definitely honor his spirit, and knowing like a lot of those bright lights that come in to do a particular mission, they're not going to be here forever. I mean, Prince left at 50. You know what I'm saying? We can name innumerable ones who've left at what we consider a
Yogananda
younger
was
age. 52, Yogananda. That's a powerful thing you said, though. 52. According to the time science, 13 times 4 or 52 is the completion of a mission. It's the duration
There you
through
go.
which we are. It's called the cycle of becoming. And then after 52 is a cycle of returning. And if you make it all the way to 104, you've had a complete cycle of becoming and a cycle of returning, which is the Venus cycle, the great round
Wow.
of Venus, 104 years, our sister planet to planet Earth. There's a lot in that. But yeah, Yogananda, 52, the ones who've left early. Michael Jackson, another one, all those who've left earlier and had a huge impact on the world. I mean, these are culture shifters, So, much respect to, because I know a lot of my peers, a lot of our culture, DMX was certainly a standout to them and a teacher. And a lot of people who knew him personally, could attest to the fact that he was always in that space of being connected with the Holy Spirit or with the presence of God, and just really deliberate about doing what was in his heart to do in his own life. And it's also this thing I heard recently about how everything here is imperfect, and that's perfect. That it's perfect in its imperfection. When we're looking for this idea of perfection or what have you, it is a thing. It's like when you said perfect the dwelling space, right?
Dwelling land.
The dwelling land. Thank you.
Yep.
That in a way communicates this idea I heard a long time ago. The definition of perfection is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, especially with the environment and ourselves, there's only infinite upward potential. So it's
Yes.
there's no limit to what kind of perfection you can reach, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that, brother, we want to thank you so much for your presence on the planet, your energy at this time with us on the broadcast. I think we're having a little bit of a signal lag over here too, but prayerfully it doesn't disturb too much. Bilal, you have any comments there? Any remarks? Oh, you good? You good to go?
I'm good. I'm good. Just
Okay.
saying, I mean, only thing I can say is that I look forward to the collaboration and just the activating that relationship between man and nature in a musical way.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Certainly.
saying? To be on some land with the flute and hear the acoustics throughout the forest. To have a studio, on the land where we can free up and tap into, the nature spirits and vibe and jam with nature. And
Jam
nature
with
Yeah.
nature.
So
One
I
of
look forward to all of that.
one of the things that Anastasia talks a lot about in the books is the concept of bards. These people who take the purity of their consciousness and translate it into song, and they go out to the world and share their songs, and they purify the souls of those around them, and they give them an image of life that's beautiful and inspire them. And there's many of those people in Russia who've made a lot of that music. But yeah, it's that concept of we take that goodness we feel, put it into songs, spread that message, and touch the hearts of everyone else. So,
So could DMX perhaps be a hip hop bard? Because he touched a lot of people.
absolutely.
I mean, that impact.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's like,
There's many of them. We got Mos Def,
yeah.
Talib Kweli. Those guys changed my life when I was a teenager.
MF Doom. I mean, you and I would be remiss
Doom,
not to
oh
mention
my
MF
God.
Doom. Doomale. You know what I'm saying? How many hours did we spend listening to MF Doom on
Greatest MC of all
rotate,
time.
repeat? Know what I
Jesus.
mean? Who classically, I mean, just the fact that his transition wasn't announced until the end of the
I was
year.
so shocked when that came
Wasn't
out.
that? I mean, everybody was shocked. But leave it to him. That could be his wishes, right? I can imagine him having that intention, like, yo, don't let it be a public thing till after the Great Conjunction.
Right.
Don't let it be
Right.
known, then everybody's energy is in that, in that focus. So blessed love to all the souls, all the teachers, all our masters, all the ones who've been showing us the way, and those who we're here to help steward and support as well in this journey, because we're all in it together. Facts. That's how it is. So in light of that, thank you, Brother Gabriel. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Love and honor
Thank you
you.
both.
Love and gratitude for your presence, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you both, Mikuak. It's so good to see you, my friend. It's been a while. I'm just real happy to see you and connect with you, man. And thank you for inviting me on and giving me an opportunity to share.
Absolutely.
Bilal, thank you so much as well, man. It's good to meet.
All right, everybody. Thank you out there listening worldwide. I want to big up our producer, Ishel Esta. Thank you again for holding us down, chatting up folks in the group, letting everybody know what's up. Yeah, big up, Ishel. And also, definitely people check us out. Come and find out information. Align with Earth Day event going on April 22nd. Want to shout out earthday.org for all the good that they're doing and amplifying out there in the world as well. We're all in it together, as I said. So give thanks. We're going to go out with a song called Star Seeds off of our EP that we put out on December 21st during the Great Conjunction. Okay. And these are timeless tunes, but I think this one really factors in as we're talking about permaculture and, perfecting the dwelling land and planting our seeds. So here's some star seeds for everybody out there. Peace and love. Big aloha. Respect.
We must realize that the whole universe is going through this remembrance process. So it's not just something that's affecting human beings, it's affecting the earth, it's affecting the cosmos. So the whole universe is going through a process of remembering itself back to source. And this is all happening at a cellular level.
To Mercury, to send a message on the wind. Go tell Mars to end the wars and mend the world again.
Sow the seeds of peace, star seeds, flowering, sunshine, natural mind, love sublime, empowering. Kiss the ground, unlock the code, wear the crown, watch it glow, light the fire, Agni fire, universal fire, clear the murk and mire.
That increase is coming from the energy that's coming into our sun, into our solar system, that even in the universe there is a quickening or an increase in the pulse.
Over mountains, everything moving to higher frequencies in the flow out the cosmos. Naturally, life is in synchronicity.
To wash away the dross and help us free the land. Venus shine and free our minds so we can love again.
Sow the seeds of peace, star seeds, flowering, sunshine, natural mind, love sublime, empowering. Kiss the ground, unlock the code, wear the crown, watch it glow, light the fire, Agni fire, universal fire, clear the murk and mire. Sow the seeds of peace, star seeds, flowering, sunshine, natural mind, love sublime, empowering. Kiss the ground, unlock the code, wear the crown, watch it glow, light the fire, Agni fire, universal fire, clear the murk and mire.
Celebrate life.
Blend with the land, celebrate life.
Come on, live to the heights, live with the land, celebrate life, touch Kachi.
The energy coming in, remember all this energy converging, not a wave going around and through us and out, but converging in, is converging into the heart center. And the heart, and we talked about the brain being more like the command center, where the heart is what filters all things that are good, that are whole, that are true, and that holds of love, because it is the vibration of love. That's the only vibration that can match the energy. So if we're going to do something with this energy that's coming in, as we remember and we get pulsed up, the only way we can hold that and make it real in our lives is that it has to channel through the heart center.
Bilal.
Yes, I.
All right. What a
Building
show.
with my Instagram family.
Instagram fam, big up, y'all. Give
Yes,
thanks
I.
for the support and the presence on the planet. Wow, man. Powerful episode. We're still live.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, wow.
No.
I mean,
Yeah, we are. We're still
there was
live.
something I wanted to mention
Yeah, well, there we go.
about, because I just watched King Kong and Godzilla last night, King Kong versus Godzilla.
All right.
And there's a lot of interesting connotation there in that movie, right? It's like as far as I don't want to give too much away, though.
Right. Spoiler alert.
When it comes to King's domain, right? There's a part in the movie where King Kong finds his king, or he's looking for his king's domain. He finds his throne and his scepter, you know? And then when you see the different personalities of King Kong and Godzilla, and you know what I'm saying, when you do your comparative analysis, you know, just the term King's domain made me think of, yes, we're looking for our King's domain. And that's where we feel most comfortable, and that's where our throne is and our scepter.
Yeah.
It's like our power source.
We've been building on that recently. When you and I came back out to LA, driving across the country, that was part of our meditation then too. Is like looking for that. We were driving through what in Arizona? King something or another. We're like, this is it. We saw the land. We took pictures.
It was
Kingsmen or something like that. Yeah, we were like, and the land we saw at mile marker 144, available for sale on the ridge. The whole thing was in that jurisdiction. Interesting. I would say one thing I meant to mention with Gabe on the call was that when we talk about kin domains or kin's domains, it's similar to the kin of the galactic signatures. It's like everybody has a kin or a day or your kin folk, you know, different than king, but still it's something connected there. King, kin, you know, kindred, kind, like kin's domains being related to like our next of kin or our relations, all our relations,
our connection
with nature and all of our relations in the human family. And he said, oh, we got a note here. The 2.5 acre land is your connection with the universe and the space of your kin. It's your kin's domain. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. I'm super excited that we can amplify all that important work. And this won't be the last time we have Gabe on in the mix, man. And don't forget the future generations. For now and the future generations. That's right. It's their inheritance. It's what you're passing down to your ascendants. We call them descendants, but our ascendants, passing it down to the ascendants.
Exactly. And that this isn't just a conversation, it's a real-time thing that's happening. You know, real light workers are energizing this in real time.
Yeah, we are. Stirring the pot, brother. Mixing it up. That's it. Man, so much love, bro. So much gratitude for today. Great show. Always an honor to see you and collaborate and navigate this time ship together. You know what I'm saying?
Likewise, right in the column.
Right in the column. We're in the column right now. It's facts, you know. So both our earth lights show up in this column. You know what I mean? Like this is a powerful sequence of days for us. on the personal as well as the collective, no doubt. So Earth Day is in this column this year. So, powerful timing and sequence underway. And I definitely, again, want to encourage people to check us out at planet_restoration on IG. Follow us there. Go like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/planet restoration, all one word. Please big us up there. You'll find the episode from today's conversation there. Last couple of episodes are up there as well. We got great music. Some music videos will be populated there. And our archive of doing this kind of a broadcast since the last day out of time, that's kind of some of the oldest media on there, is our day out of time from before. Actually, no, it's our interview, maybe I'm not sure what it is, but just invite anybody to go look it up. YouTube, we've been putting a lot of media up there, so we invite you to check that out. Share it with others. We definitely want to big up the numbers there and just use anything we got to help make this shift a reality.
Yeah, and I would mention that we have some music, set of music, and we're coming forward with more of this set of music that we call Serious Codes. This music is more, it's like beyond entertainment. It's for coding of the DNA, even though it is entertaining. The vibes and the spirit, the energy is in there, though it's based on coding that we did that's connected to the Sirius star system and the rotation and things of the Sirius star system. Yes. So I just bring that up to say those codes can be found on our YouTube channel as well.
Absolutely.
So, and any upcoming codes will be there. So just click the notification so you'll be notified, because there's enough flavor coming.
Enough flavors. And we'll be doing some broadcasts that help take people on a deeper dive into the codes. When we talk about codes and we say these kind of things, it can be very abstract for people. The beautiful thing is you don't have to understand it, just feel the vibe of the music right now, but there is a comprehensive science to it. It's something you can do yourself. So what we're doing is we just took the time to figure it out and to follow the steps required. It's like a mathematical equation. Anybody can do it, and we're happy to show you how to do it because it's important that you know how to do it as well. And it's just what it has brought out of us is the expression, the gift we're sharing with folks as the Sirius codes and that particular methodology. But we don't want you to think it's something that we have that you can't access. It's accessible to anybody who just asks the right question, like, how do I access it? Well, here's how you do it. So it's not something we're keeping from people or that kind of thing. It's something that is accessible to anybody who's curious and wants to learn more. So happy to do that. And make sure everybody's on the frequency together. And looking forward again to the Earth Day, Align with Earth. And we have so many amazing folks who are offering us gifts and insights and prayers and songs. And we have the beautiful collaborators across all these platforms. It's going to be a powerful, dynamic symphony of energy that we're able to help bring in to the planet that day. So it's going to be a very special moment. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Big up. Please keep in touch with us. We'll be on this episode. We'll have our next episode. The last episode prior to Earth Day will be next Gregorian Monday at the same time, 3 o'clock on the West Coast, 6 o'clock on the East Coast. So check us out for that. And we'll look forward to being in touch. Peace and love and gratitude. In Lakesh. So amplify regenerative arts and culture, basically.
Exactly.
Give a platform to it. Going in, PR live. Live to the whole world. Going in live.
1328, we activate regenerative consciousness. 1328, 13 moons and 28 days, yeah. 1328, we activate regenerative consciousness. 1328.
So we have the ability to be the media that we actually want to see, what we actually want to amplify or create in the world.
Bring forth those frequencies. Bring forward great minds and
look at, how do we get where we are and where do we want to go from here? Where do we really see ourselves going?